Ashlyn Clark, who was with us last Thursday, a week ago today, thinking about for her at age 17 as a high school senior, her hands and feet start turning blue, finding out what can I do about it. My Lord, I mean, just crazy. I mean, can you imagine? Of course, she's taken an integral role in this year's Heart Ball as our special appeals person, and so it's not all fun and games that on Saturday night.
No, and that's really important to provide that exposure, because our perception is that, these folks that are impacted with heart problems or heart disease, stroke, they're old or in poor health, this sort of thing, and so this young lady stepping forward and saying, hey, this is something that I deal with, is great, because I think it really challenges people to think outside the box and say, okay, this is not someone that's just impacting my grandparents.
Right. Yes. She talked about that last Thursday. Todd, I don't know if you got to see her interview, but she talked about being now in the club with her grandparents in the Zipper Club.
Sure. And
having, she's got obviously a very substantial scar down her chest there, right, in that same club. Ann Lehman talked about it on Monday, and that's a big deal.
It is, absolutely.
That's a very big deal. Some of the things that viewers may not imagine or can't even imagine that are happening, that have happened over the last couple weeks leading up, again, as you said, auction, transporting hundreds of thousands of dollars of items up here. That's over the next 48 hours to get set up all day. I guess tomorrow, Friday, we're going to be setting up all the auction items.
Yes, and it's always a toss-up each year. This year we're thankful to have that access to the facility early on, so we're not quite as pressed for time. In fact, in years past, it's been as late as, well, we can have you in the ballroom by noon the day of the event.
Right.
And certainly that offers a stressful afternoon.
Very limited day. And, of course, the Kingston Plantation opened up. A great rate here for villas here, 2-bedroom, 2-bath villas. Savina Robinson was pumping them up last Tuesday. Carmine talked a little bit about them, but they 2-bed, 2-bath for $125, a special Heart Ball rate, which is a great opportunity to be able to stay on site. The hotel was booked because of the dang marathon, of course, this Saturday, which is another stressful event on the Strand, the 10th annual marathon. But having the opportunity to be able to stay on site for all the volunteers that are setting up auction items or helping set up decorations. Ann talked about all the decorations that have to get set up that day. That's a lot of work.
I mean, it's a full day, and for our hardcore volunteers, there have been years that we've kind of said, okay, well, we got to run, and we'll have 20 minutes to run upstairs, and everybody gets dressed, and we'll meet back here, this sort of thing, and so truly having those accommodations here on site is almost necessary.
It's critical. That's absolutely critical. Think about, real quick, Todd, just some of the, of course, we've got a new MC this year. We've got a new auctioneer
That's right,
who's coming in. Of course, we talked about Ashlyn Clark as the special appeals, really helping to drive home the mission of the event. Share with the viewers how we've made a little changeover this year with a new MC and auctioneer.
Well, I think it's just change is always good, and that's not to say that everyone in the past has done, just a great job.
Oh, yeah.
This year's event will have a little different flavor in that Diane Devon Stokes is joining us as the MC.
Right.
And, we all love Diane, and she's just so much fun and just brings a lot of energy to the table.
Yes.
And so excited to have her a part of things. Coach David Bennett, as our auctioneer. And when I spoke to Coach last weekend, in fact, he said, y'all must have been, really desperate for an auctioneer.
Yeah.
I have to disagree. I think that, that his personality is really going to come across, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun the whole evening. And so I think it'll be a great opportunity to really showcase their skills. In fact, I think they'll make a great, partnership.
Those two should make a great team.
Absolutely.
Up there. They really should. And again, as you said, not to take anything away from Ed Piotrowski and Teddy Henry, which year after year have made an effort. Teddy, again, donating a barbecue for 100 this year. That's right. It's folks like that are really stepping up to the plate to donate big items. And Ed, who can't be with us, his wife Deborah's got to be out of town this weekend, but had really hoped to be with us this. Sure. And of course, Teddy and Margaret, who again are actually a week after next. They're hosting the barbecue for 100 that was purchased at last year's Heart Ball. So, they're surely coming out of pocket to make this event successful.
the support they offer is incredible, and we can't thank those folks enough, that have supported the event and just the Heart Association in general year after year.
Gift bags, another part of this Saturday night, Todd. What are the gift bags all about?
Gift bags are just an opportunity to participate at a different level, and with the gift bag comes the opportunity, I think, to win $1,000.
Yeah, grand.
So that's pretty exciting. And but I think, again, most people are buying those as an opportunity to do the right thing and contribute. And the reality is, as many offerings as we have in the auction, there might be, this particular year there may be nothing that you particularly want to bid on. I can't imagine, but that may be the case. And so the gift bags are an opportunity for you to, contribute at a different level, albeit, the special appeals campaign as well is an opportunity to contribute at whatever level you feel appropriate. So those are two other great opportunities to give back and to be a part of the evening's fundraising.
The special appeals is something that just kicked off a few years ago. It's a real opportunity to make sure folks didn't think it was just about great food, great entertainment. It's also about the mission of the American Heart Association and fighting heart disease and stroke. And whether it's, as you said, persons like Ashlyn Clark, like Lance and Marjorie Thompson and their daughter Savannah and Chandler there on the stage, or Sue Cranford talking about the loss of her son who was impacted, much like Ashlyn, totally unexpected, but stepping up to make sure we understand the significance of the mission there. We just got a couple of minutes, Todd. And, when we think about all that has to happen, you've been working on this for a long time. Really leading up to it. Absolutely. You've been active. The auction committee. Think about some exciting past auction items, and of course some other great auction items. Are there any one you want to thank in particular? Any auction? There's so many items that you almost can't really highlight.
Well, it's comical because we, from time to time, have had success with celebrity, and the one I still hear about is Britney Spears boots. People still say, "How did you get those?"
Purple,
or what? Yep, these purple boots, that she donated some years ago, and so that's probably the most fun item to talk about. But I think that the contribution that sticks out for me are our artists, who donate original art. And Tommy Davis has been incredibly generous over the years. Kimberly Dawn, Kim Clayton, her contributions. I love her art, just the folk art, and it's just so much fun and has so much meaning. Karen Edgar. And actually, we've got a few new artists that I'm not going to mention any names because they've kind of got involved late in the game.
Right.
I don't have anything in hand, but I'm hoping that they're going to be able to contribute as well. And so, the reason that those things stick out for me is that these folks, it takes a long time to, I can't even imagine. I don't have an artistic bone in my body, but
nor I.
So these folks that sit down and just spend hours, in front of these canvases. I just that says a lot. It really does.
It does, and there is not you could spend 30 minutes talking about auction items, going through the list of $150,000, $200,000. We've had a very diligent auction crew constantly out there working the crowd. A lot of newbies this year. Of course, you've worked with folks.
You have to mention Redline Sports. Just because they, they have
$10,500
item, year after year. That's just
that Honda Aquatrax,
four-wheelers,
beautiful. Exactly, they've done four-wheelers in the past, and jet skis. They did the Segway a couple of years ago,
which were huge fun. That was generated a lot of excitement.
Very popular with Liz Gillen cruising around on the dance floor on one. If you remember that year, Bob Brooks bought it and then gave it back, and we got to bid it off twice.
Absolutely.
Let's hope maybe someone will do that with the jet skis this Saturday.
Always a good idea.
Yeah, to just give it back. And of course, there aren't folks always that can do that night.
No.
That can donate an item back, but a lot of folks are there who have donated. Some people even buy their own items back. They're donating for the right reasons. They're buying it back for the right reason. They want to keep it, but they wanted to help make a difference in the fundraising that night.
Right.
This Saturday night. The food, I hear they've got a tremendous menu this Saturday night. I'm not going to put you on the spot to lay out the entire. We've just got a minute, Todd. And when you think about the mission itself, and for you, and of course getting your whole family involved this year, where all of y'all are going to be here working, obviously this weekend from here on out. What is it you think that makes you continue to commit year after year?
I've said this before. My dad, he's just my hero, and recognizing that, he's still with us very likely because of the research and development that happens as a result of American Heart Association. And so, it's a lot of fun. I mean, just the fellowship that happens with the volunteers and this sort of thing. So it's not all selfless. I mean, it's a great time. And so the time that I give back, it's just been a great blessing to me and to my family. And I think as parents, we have that obligation to bring our kids up and share with them, what's important. And certainly, giving your time and for those that have that money is important. It's huge.
Absolutely. Todd, thanks so much for being with us this
morning.
Thank you,
Greg.
Very definitely. Stay tuned to more Carolina People with co-chair Todd Harms coming up next.
Join the fight against heart disease and stroke as Understanding Corporation presents the 13th annual Waccamaw Area Heart Ball. It's a sparkling black tie gala that features a reception, live and silent auction, and gourmet dining. Then, dance the night away with entertainment by Jumpstart. It all takes place on Saturday, February 17th in the Kensington Ballroom at Kingston Plantation. Call now to reserve your seat at the 13th annual Waccamaw Area Heart Ball.
You heard him talk about getting his family involved, his wife and kids involved, but it was his family that got him involved, his father. Think about at an early age learning that your dad or your mother has had a bout with cardiovascular disease or stroke, or seeing a loved one, a friend, a peer. It's family members oftentimes that drive your involvement in a nonprofit organization. It's loved ones. For folks like Ann Lehman earlier this week or Ashlyn Clark last week, it's themselves being born with a hole in their heart or having a reverse valves. Whatever it is, get involved. The mission's still the same, helping against the fight against heart disease and stroke. Step out. Call the Heart Association office at 626-3939. Show up out here to volunteer. There's still volunteer needs tomorrow and even today. Getting auction items moved up here to Kingston Plantation. Make a difference. We need your help.